Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today. My name is Isabella, and today our topic will be the science behind sleep. Before we jump into it, I wanted to give a little bit of background information about myself. I completed a psychology degree at Wayne State University, and now I'm currently doing my master's at Wayne State University School of Medicine. I'm planning on applying to medical school this summer, so that's going to be really exciting. And during this past semester in my master's program, I was able to complete a paper on any topic of my choosing, and I decided to do mine on melatonin. It's a really important hormone in helping regulate our circadian rhythm and sleep, so we'll be talking about that a lot today. Now, onto our topic for the day. I promise I'll do my best not to put you guys to sleep, and if you're able to stick to the end of the video, I promise it'll be worth it. So, sleep is something that we all need to function. However, a lot of teens and young adults report having problems maintaining a consistent sleep schedule. As seen in this infographic from the National Sleep Foundation, the average adult needs between 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Most college students report far less than this. When we go to sleep, there are two phases we encounter, non-REM and REM. I'll be focusing more on REM today. REM stands for rapid eye movement, and as the name implies, your eyes are rapidly moving during this period. Your limbs also go numb during this phase, as well as most of your dreaming occurs here. The body goes through multiple REM cycles every night, with each one increasing the longer you sleep. It is believed that the REM stage assists in the formation of new memories, as well as allowing the brain to process and decompress information that was experienced when awake. This is why it's so important to make sure you get enough sleep each night, because the more sleep you get, the more REM cycles you're able to have, resulting in the better ability to process all the information you experience that day. Now I'm going to be discussing two really important mechanisms of sleep. The first one is the circadian rhythm. It's typically only associated with the sleep-wake cycle. However, it can regulate many other aspects within our bodies, such as our temperature, metabolism, and even hormone release. The circadian rhythm is able to get cues from our environment, however, it can operate almost perfectly even when deprived of all of these cues. Think of, for example, you're put in a box with no sunlight. You'll still be able to go to sleep and wake up at the same time you normally do. Even without these environmental cues, your body naturally knows when to wake up and when to go to sleep. The second mechanism we're going to talk about is the sleep-wake homeostasis. It's essentially our body's way of regulating when we should be asleep versus when we should be awake. If you have a pre-existing medical condition, high levels of stress, or even a new sleep environment, this can affect your ability to fall asleep. A key hormone in regulating the circadian rhythm, and as a result, the sleep-wake homeostasis, is melatonin, not to be confused with melanin. Melatonin is created in the pineal gland in the brain, and it's enhanced when it is dark out and inhibited or decreased when it is exposed to light. So given how the mechanism of melatonin functions, we can see that light exposure, especially at the wrong time, like our bedtime, can negatively affect our circadian rhythm and as a result, our ability to fall asleep. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of teens and young adults report issues falling and staying asleep. Many turn to taking supplemental melatonin, also known as exogenous melatonin, in the belief that it will help them fall asleep faster. The logic here seems to make sense. Melatonin is increased at night, so taking more will help you fall asleep faster. It's not exactly true. In this slide, we're going to be looking at the top graph first. You can see this orange line here represents the administration of 2 milligrams of immediate release form of exogenous melatonin. Note how large and how big the peak is when compared to the PRM, the prolonged release form of exogenous melatonin. The graph all the way in the bottom just shows us our basic levels of melatonin in our day-to-day life. Note how similar the PRM curve is when compared to the physiological melatonin levels. Now, given the information we've discussed up until now, can you guess which form of supplemental melatonin is sold in stores across the country? I'll give you a hint. It's either IR or PRM. If you guess the IR form, you're right, because it allows the melatonin peak to occur much faster and higher than our body's physiological levels of melatonin. This results in feeling very sleepy very fast. Note how only 2 milligrams is used in this study. For reference, that's about 1/7 of a tablespoon. And in drugstores, the supplemental melatonin doses are typically sold in 5 to 10 milligram pills. Adding more melatonin to our system really won't do anything beneficial, as our body carefully increases the melatonin levels prior to your normal bedtime to ensure a steady circadian rhythm. The addition of exogenous melatonin won't cause any direct harm, but it will mess with your ability to fall asleep at a consistent time. So I bet now you're wondering, Isabella, you just told me I can't take exogenous melatonin to help me fall asleep faster. It doesn't really do anything beneficial long term. So what am I supposed to do right now? Because I can't fall asleep consistently. The most common reason for inability to fall asleep is actually due to light exposure during bedtime. Typically, it's from blue light, and you already know what I'm about to say. You probably just shouldn't be using your phone right before you go to bed. It's imperative that you put your phone away at least 1 hour before you go to bed. Remember, we talked about this already. Light inhibits melatonin production, which is really important in maintaining a steady sleep-wake cycle. It also can't be overlooked that high levels of stress are a big factor in inability to fall asleep, especially in teens to young adults. That's usually when you're experiencing a lot of change in your life and a lot of big stressors. I want to thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video. I hope that you learned a lot about the science behind sleep, and I hope you enjoyed the 2 memes. I told you it would be worth it, you guys. These are actually 2 memes I included on the presentation on the paper I wrote on melatonin for one of my graduate courses. So I hope you enjoy them, I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.